everybody, and welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
A comic book review show where we read a book and then we tell you what we thought about them. Today we talked about Justice League of America #1 by Brian Hitch and Wade Von Grawbadger.
Yep.
That's a mouthful.
It is, and I got it.
You did. You nailed it.
For those of you who have been waiting to see Brian Hitch's take on the Justice League and DC Universe, you will not be disappointed. It is Brian Hitch's take.
Or for all those Von Grawbadger fans.
I know, right? Initial thoughts of Justice League of America #1, playing up the whole DCU, not tethered to reality / other books kind of thing. If you read this book while you're reading Action Comics or Batman, you're going to be kind of baffled. But if you were paying attention to what DC's plan is, where they're like, no, continuity doesn't matter. We're doing this, 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 and this. That's what this is.
Well, then you'll still be baffled.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple pages into this book, I thought I had the wrong thing. I was like, oh, did this come before Convergence?
Maybe.
There were a few pages into that, and I was like,
There were a couple-
I clearly have the wrong book. And
There
then
were
I
a
was
couple
like,
times where I was like, I picked up the wrong book.
It was long.
Yes.
Which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because
that was
there
very
were
nice.
there were last page reveals or last page cliffhangers, and then you turn the next page, and there's more
No,
comic.
I appreciate that there was
I
a lot.
love that, because I'm a fan of those kinds of moments, like in movies where you think the movie's over, and then there's 20 more minutes. People are always like, oh, this should have ended. No, more movie. I spent $12 on this movie. I'm going to get more movie. I spent $6 on this book. I'm going to get more comic. And I did. That said, I am one of the 4 people in the world that doesn't like Brian Hitch's art. So this book was kind of meh for me.
Well, that said, you got more book, but it wasn't the book you wanted.
I mean, well, here's the thing. I didn't even know what I wanted, because I've been reading... Superman's got no powers, Batman's Commissioner Gordon, we got all kinds of shit going on. This is Justice League as you kind of remember them, which is cool. This is actually them playing with the continuity in that way, where they're like, no, we want to tell a Justice League story where it's the Justice League, and I want to tell that story about Aquaman and Batman and Superman, and they do the things you remember them doing. And I like that a lot. But that said, they're really the fact that they were the New 52 costumes,
Yeah.
the fact they played around with them as well. It wasn't just New 52 costumes, it was versions of the New 52 costumes, and versions of the New 52 versions of those characters. I was like, what is happening? But it allowed me to think, this is its own thing, its own autonomous universe.
There is a point in this book that when I read Martian Manhunter first.
Right, I did too.
And there was a part in this book where I had forgotten what book I was reading, and I was trying to tie it into Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, wait a minute, but the Martians are coming.
Yeah, or oh no, the voices, they're here, it has something to do, and I'm like,
Nope.
no.
Wait.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And that's on me, really, but I think it's just because we happened to pick up 2 books that had universe changing or
Yeah.
Insanely large events.
And might be their own continuities.
Yeah, exactly. So that was I was like, what was Vincent? Do we know that character?
I don't know him.
I wasn't
Not a
sure if
clue.
he was the guy who built the Superman Batman.
No, that's Hero.
Okay, that's right. I wasn't sure if it was a different version of him.
Right. No, it's another
'Cause he's like a kid.
super genius kid
Yeah.
who's a dick. I'm not one to be wowed by Brian Hitch's art.
Yeah,
I
you said
think that everyone kind of looks the same, and the moments that are captured are all right. I don't know.
I had some weird, footwear issues with them. I don't know, it's just weird. With the Flash, there's a lot of emphasis on the foot area in a sense, and there's just some there were some issues there for me.
That's his whole power, is his feet.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's the Speed Force, but at the
He
same
can do things
time...
with his hands fast.
Yeah,
that's true.
most of what he does is run.
Yeah.
But
95% of the Flash is running.
yeah, I mean, overall the book, I was like, I was like, we just came off another universe-ending event, and we're doing one here, but it's not like an event, it's just an arc, and then we're going to do the Darkseid Wars as well.
Yes.
And I was like...
But it's separate from that.
I just, first, I was like, I need a break.
Yeah.
I just need a moment.
Right.
Can't they just deal with, a normal problem? And I mean, a bank robbery. I mean, a typical villain.
Right.
Issue
Or
for, a little bit.
Or make it a national or an international problem. Make it a world-centric problem.
Right, I mean...
a dictator, or a, whatever.
Especially if they're starting up this whole, continuity doesn't matter. Let me know what, continuity we're dealing with here, then. Or, what you,
what the stakes are, what the universe is.
Yeah, what have you decided
what
to do
this
with
timeline is.
Yeah, give me, a moment.
Yeah.
No, we won't give you that moment.
Don't just release the Parasite.
Well, not just release the Parasite.
I said, don't just release the Parasite.
Oh, yeah.
As if he's the worst villain in the world.
Well, he's not good.
No, he's not good, but
No, the most difficult to defeat villain.
Well, I mean...
It's the Parasite.
Yeah,
Come
he's
on.
such a crappy super... What? But this version, he's really hard. I don't know,
You know what's really funny about that moment, though, is, it's almost like they had never been superheroes before.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the first arc for the Justice League, where they're like, uh-oh, and Batman's telling everyone, don't do this, don't do that, and they do it anyway, and you're like, what?
Yeah, Batman's like, didn't you read anything?
Yeah.
Like, didn't you do any
Did
research?
you get any prepare?
At least Flash was like, yeah, that's what we have you for.
Yeah, you're the guy who comes with the plan.
But how about the fact that Superman is involved with this weird story with Vincent,
time travel and
where it's not just, look, there's some weird thing in the timeline where you die and it fucks up everything.
Yeah.
But there's some weird thing in the timeline where it fucks up anything, and we're not telling him the whole truth of who we are. Oh, we're like, you have to go like 5 steps further than that? Christ, just tell the story.
I thought it was interesting that we, again, are in a place where Superman is the most important.
And apparently he's not... Maybe he'll actually be the key this time.
Yeah, let's hope.
Right?
I don't know. For me, I felt also like, alright, we got more book.
Yes.
But it felt like it could have been told in fewer pages. Like, the amount of story we got, it felt like a lot of padding was taking place.
There was backstory.
It seemed like they were like the team was super excited about this book. And
yes,
I could feel that. Like, you know, when someone's telling you a story and they're really excited about it, and like
they might skip details.
They're skipping details, or like they repeat something, or they spend too long on something, and it just kind of it felt like that. And like I could feel, in a sense, their excitement to get this story out there.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, man, I really need a more concise, put together version of this. Because it's kind of interesting to see a room full of dead Supermen. Like,
yeah,
that's
that
a cool
pitch is
early
really
reveal.
Cool.
Like, I'm like, okay, why is that? What is killing
Superman?
And like, that's
everywhere.
Sort of cool.
Yeah.
But they're all the same Superman.
Yes, I will also say I enjoyed being put in a world where it's like, who cares what's happening in the other books?
Yeah.
This is a Justice League story. That. Let's just tell that story. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for that. I think that was really cool, and for that, I give it high marks. That said, I was like a little, I don't know. I was a little bored at times.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm curious. I'm not intrigued. I don't need to know, but I'm curious what happens next.
Right.
The reason I'm on board for this is because...
Mr. Biscuits?
No. Always Mr. Biscuits.
He's in it?
Woo! Mr. Biscuits? I feel like they're writing this not as issue by issue, but they're writing this as a trade. Like, the trade mentality is already there, and they're building up this huge thing, and they already know, like, yeah, we're going to give you all of this information beforehand. We're going to give you the scene with Lois talking to Clark about switching desks. We're going to give you Aquaman talking to the press or to the United Nations or whatever it is. Because it doesn't matter. This is just book 1.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to fight. They're all going to fight the Parasite. Because the Parasite doesn't matter yet.
Right. The big thing is coming.
So I feel like they're writing it like that.
Well, I mean, if you're writing a JLA book, you get to do that.
Yeah.
Because they don't really usually like bail on the bigger titles.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to write Martian Manhunter like that.
No, it's true.
But you get to do that. Like, so, like, it's not really a surprise that they would do that, because, like, we're going to finish this arc out. We know it. Unless it tanks.
But as far as the story goes,
won't.
I feel like that's how they wrote this book.
But that's kind of irresponsible, in a sense, if you're going to sell it as floppies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you intended to write this to be a standalone graphic novel, then put it out like that.
Yeah. Well, clearly he's not afraid of doing that.
You're not going to have the same...
impact.
Yeah.
I'm not saying impact, but at the same time, like, why do we have to do that?
Yeah,
then
we just got $5.
Then we can sell all these different issues, and then we can sell them again as the trade.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I thought it was interesting. We have Aquaman doing, like...
Aquaman-y stuff.
Yeah, like political things.
Yeah, being a diplomat.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Like, dealing with the U.S., or, like, doing things, being like, yeah, but I mean, you should just give us your stuff.
And it's funny because, like, everyone's a dick. Like, the UN is like, but you should just let us have your... And Aquaman's like, yeah, and maybe I won't invade you.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Like, fuck you. Don't act like North Korea.
No, it's also fun because, like, this is your...
I have the button.
Yeah.
I'm not going to push it.
I won't.
Put my fingers here.
But, like,
That's all I'm saying.
everyone in my kingdom wants me to.
It's very standard...
Aquaman.
Well, no, it's Aquaman, but also a very standard Justice League.
Yes. Yeah. You get what you paid for.
And it's Cyborg, whatever. He did Cyborg stuff.
Cyborg did everything you expect Cyborg to do. He opened boom tubes, he took orders from Batman like a bitch, and he hung around.
I would say he worked with Batman.
Everyone seems to think that Cyborg is Batman's bitch. He's like, hey, Justice League Robin, let's go. Because Cyborg is like, man, what am I going to do? And Batman's like, maybe you should use your infinite technology and access to do this. He's like, oh, okay, I will, Batman. Yeah.
Well, no, I thought they kind of came up with the plan together.
No, they did.
And then, and he was like, he's like, Batman, I'm going to need you to do it. And he's like, I agree. I know.
Yeah, I've got it.
Is
God,
it? All right.
Holy God.
Yeah, by the way, the way they do that, I heard Ethan in my head going, "It's not how that works."
I did want to mention really quickly, because it wasn't part of what we had to read this week, but I read a different DC title.
Oh.
A new #1 that came out.
What was it?
I read Black Canary #1.
Oh, Black Canary #1. I forgot that came out.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
I read Black Canary #1, The Most Dangerous Band in America, written by Brendan Fletcher with art by Annie Wu. Which is why I read that.
Annie Wu.
I love Annie Wu's art. She's really cool. I met her at Special Edition NYC.
It's true.
It came out this past week, and this was the break I needed from Convergence.
Yeah.
Good.
Like, I read that after I read the other 2 books, and I was like,
Ah, big palate cleanser.
yeah.
De-stressor.
Yeah. It's like, you know, Spider-Gwen's in a band?
Yeah.
Black Canary's in a band. She's in a rock band. And it's just a fun ride. It's a different take on Black Canary. I mean, she's still kicking ass, and she's doing this for a reason. She's trying to make money, that kind of thing. And you know, she still has her powers, and she dresses like Black Canary, but
Cool.
like in a more like this is her band costume in
Right.
a sense.
Yeah.
And it's like a fun like Scoob and the Gang kind of book that they're putting together here.
Okay.
Like they're all gonna go on a superpowered adventure now.
Do they have a van?
Yeah, they're the Black Canary.
Oh, nice.
It's a-
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't mean they have a van. I'm just gonna.
Oh no, they've got a tour bus, I guess.
Oh,
It's like a bus.
That's
it's like
cool.
an RV. It's an RV.
Nice.
Oh, that's even better.
That's
I said,
fun.
do they have a band? I was like,
better
yeah,
than
I got
a
a
band.
band. Yeah, of course.
Of course they have a van.
They're
The
called
Black Canaries.
Yeah, she's the lead singer.
Better you
Naturally.
listening at all.
They got a drummer and a guitarist. And,
Yeah.
They
Are
play
all funny?
instruments?
Or are they all characters or some kind?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, like not like in the DCU as far as I know,
okay.
but like one of them has possible power.
Their names are
Okay.
guitarist and drummer and.
No, they all have
Backup
fun
drummer.
names. It's a fun book, and the art's really cool.
Yeah.
Like it's just cool to look at.
Awesome. That is
Is it
her
'cause-
art style.
Is it because Annie Wu is cool?
Yes.
It's true. She is cool.
Yes.
Cool begets cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the book is spectacular looking. The coloration's great. The panels are set up awesomely, and like it's just for me, this is so different than everything else happening in the DC universe.
Right.
I'm just like, I was like, yeah.
Well, good. That's like a consequence of their decisions. Like, here's something else.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're not a big DC fan, but you kind of dug Spider-Gwen, you might really dig this book. Because I was like,
You were into it.
I was so into it.
And as we know, a lot of our fans like
Our Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
fans, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of the world likes Spider-Man.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I didn't mean to, like, surprise you.
No, it's great.
I literally, like, I saw it and I was like, oh, shit.
I'm gonna read that.
I want to read this. Screw it, I'm not gonna tell them.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. That was Justice League of America #1 and Black Canary.
And a surprise Black
Surprise,
Canary.
yeah, got Black Canary for the price of one.
No one suspects the Black Canary.
Her chief weapon is her voice.
So
Her
we'll see you
voice
guys
and drums.
next time on Off the Rack. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.